Welcome to Vintage Coin Op Restorations and our final video of this 1939 Evans 10 Strike. As you can see in the backdrop, we have two of them, but we will do the green machine first. Do a quick walk around the cabinet. It is absolutely beautiful. All the metal that you've seen here is either polished or completely replated. Like the arms right here, these are all originally just aluminum, but they look so much better when they're plated, I think. This is the first generation of the Evans 10 Strike. There are 3 different versions of this game as we get into the years, and towards the end of the cycle of these machines, Rockola Company actually bought some rights to actually make their own. And Rockola came out with 2 of them called, they're both called 10 pins, but they say Rockola, and they're very unique. One's a red one and one's a marbleized one. Now, Evans made 2 versions of their cabinet, and one of them was this one, of course, which is probably the most desirable. The other one has like a green and yellow stripe on the side with the pins on it. Also very nice, but this just adds a much better look to this piece of furniture. We added a little door handle here, so when you open up the back door, you turn, you hold the handle, and you pull the back door out using the 2 chrome pieces in the back as leverage. And here in the front, also, this was all metal crinkle paint. In the 30s, that was a big thing. A lot of slot machines were done with metal crinkle paint, and that's what they did here, especially with this Evans machine. But we had it all blasted, and then we had it plated. So it goes through getting blasted, it gets acid copper on it, nickel, and then chrome. And then we just highlight it with the little green that we picked up off of the back glass. A lot of people call me and ask you, what's this little thing on the right-hand side? What that is basically an ashtray. Someone would put their cigarettes in the little grooves, and that's great if they did that all the time, but this machine had some burns on it, and it was just hard to get those stains out, or plus most of the time it's just heat marks. But that's what that little plate there on the side is. Now, different than the original is the instruction plate that we have here. It's just a beautiful addition to this piece. The original is made out of cardboard, or I've even seen it paper. And we've had this printed onto a piece of chrome, and it looks beautiful in here. And the man here is all with its original colors. But we go a little further and we add a little more detail. Typically he is just, it looks like someone did it with a Crayola, but we took our time. We have our little pocket with the comb. Yeah, he's just staring down the lanes. Even the hood and its top part is plated. Absolutely stunning. And here we are with the back door open, showing the score unit behind the back glass. As you can see, there's our strike, our extra balls, tilt switches up on top there. And also here, we completely replaced all the old school prong and pin connectors. Over time, being moved, these things wobble around and sometimes they lose contact and it just becomes a headache. So even though this was a headache to put them in, it's just one thing you don't have to worry about anymore. Go, oh, was it a bad connection, and go back in. We know all the connections are perfect, they're snug, they're tight, and that's what we did on not only in the front, but also in the rear and the score unit. And we just have them stabilized here with a tie, so this whole unit can come out very easily with the 3 screws, 2 and 1 in the back there. And this way you could just untie these things and take this whole unit out if it ever needs to be serviced. Also, the bulb, everybody calls me about, it's a 1129 bulb. Kind of tough to find, but they're out there. It's just a matter of looking. And here is your back box tilt. We have one in the front, and we also have one in the back. I could probably even make it go off right now if I were to. There you go. You saw the tilt light go back on. And that's for somebody who wants to kind of give the game a jiggle as they're playing. As the ball rolls, they try to, control the ball a little bit. And that completely protects the game and doesn't allow any of that kind of monkey business that's caught. And as you can see, this is like a projector unit, and in the back here is where this light, and the light shines through, and it's shining through a tube right behind here with a slit, and that slit projects it onto the front glass. Let me see if I can come around real quick to show you. Yep, at 22 there in the front. And you can see all the little numbers. And the numbers they're not straight. They're all on an angle. So, I get called, how do I get the numbers straight? Well, it kind of gets straight right at the point of it being level, but there's always an angle on it. And some numbers are bigger than others, obviously. And as you get into hundreds, if you get that lucky, But here you go, and this is how it basically, as it comes around, and as you score up here, let me see if I can do that. The whole system works on a ratchet. So there's 2 teeth, push forward, locks it in place. Push forward, locks it in place. And over time, those are about the only things you ever have to need to be adjusted. You can only tighten them so much, and the biggest thing is you never want to over tighten anything, because it just adds problems, and everything here is brass, so easily over tighten will give the brass a little bit of movement, and you don't want that. So that's about the only thing you really have to service in back here, and also possibly change light bulbs from time to time. These are all new inside here right now, so that should not be a problem. Another thing that we do that eliminates a lot of headaches is, if you come close, all these sockets have been completely replaced. These are all new sockets for all the light bulbs. Again, a lot of time to redo all of that, but as we know, this is made in 1939, and what happens is the bake light on here starts to shrink. The bulbs are able to wobble around a little bit, and the connection becomes poor. So one day it's working, the next day it won't work. You could chase these things forever, but we rather just eliminate the problem, put the time in, and change the sockets with new ones. Well, before we start, let's talk about the coin mechanism. The coin mechanism is a original nickel coin mech. It has a little viewing hole, so as you come down, you can see the person actually played the game, and has a nickel in the little window. So there could have been, if this was an arcade, they would have like maybe a little sign on it, but typically they would just literally glue it on the machine, which is your points. Say you score 200 points, you're going to get two free points. And basically your 2 free points is you might get to win 2 games or 2 nickels. All these games were about gambling. It was all about money for both people playing the game and people who owned it. And yes, you're not supposed to be able to get a strike every time. So many people are like, oh my God, I can't get a strike. Well, you really weren't supposed to, because these were all about money. But one of the things I always emphasize is try to always use the Buffalo nickels. The modern nickels have a high ridge on the edge, and they tend to get jammed in the machine. And all that means is you got to take this whole coin mechanism out and mess around with it. But if you can, get yourself some Buffalo nickels, and It should work fine. So here we go. We're gonna put our nickel in there, and what are we expecting? Basically, you are mechanically pushing a lever, and everybody wants to put the nickel in and pull it out. Well, put your nickel in and push in. And sometimes when you hold it in here, let me turn some lights off because it's so glaring in here. You'll see, well, let me turn off this other light. There we go. You'll see that we have 0 on our score, and that's where we're going to be. And at the same time, when you coin up the machine, there should be a ball in the front, and it sits right in his hand. And here is your control for left and right. I advise when you play the game to hold on to this thing because the kick on this coil is quite a bit. And if you think you're gonna adjust this, like I'm gonna try to hold this and shoot at the same time, you can't do it. So I'm gonna put some of my nickels down. I'm gonna aim the ball. I'm gonna reach over and with my thumb, press the red button, which is the bowl. So let's see, I think I'm kind of right in the middle there, and let's see where we go. Wow, that's pretty good. So we have, I hit 8 pins. And if you, different than regulation bowling, this game, if you hit the 2 pins, you get an extra ball, which is a spare. If you get a strike, automatically in that frame, you get two extra balls. So that the scoring on that kind of gets messed up, but you can get points by that extra ball in that particular frame. So here, I'm gonna do a gutter. I'll show you how it, so it's gonna step up. There you have it. And let's take a look of what's behind the front door. Key, push your key in, turn it, and at the same time lift up, because if you just pull this thing down, it'll fall down because that is how it's set up, because you have your tongue right at the top of this door here. And the coin mech comes out. I'll put it on the table so you can take a peek inside here. Here you have the original coin box. Inside the machine, you're looking at the frame unit in the back there, and that little dial over there is your power, I guess, for the mannequin. Game plays any slower, the game will kind of drag on, and it just doesn't seem to have enough oomph when you are playing the game. So right now we have it, I think, at just a little bit under full power. Underneath the top here, you'll see this monster coil back there. That's the coil that pulls back the arm. And there on your right is your light for your coin window. And that little bar there is what you are actually pushing when you put your money in. You put your money in, and as you push forward, that is the start and reset of the game. And here we go. I turned some lights off so we can see the machine and its points. We have some points on the deck there. And one of the things I always like to tell people is make sure you guys use Buffalo nickels in your machine. The coin mechs alone have been worn down over the years, so there is a more slop than there ever was, but those high ridges on the nickels always seem to get jammed. So here we go. Put our nickel in, and you'll see with 0 and our ball's being called down to his hand. All right, so on the left here, you have your control knob, left and right. You know, left gutter there, right gutter. So somewhere in the middle, you have to aim and get the right sweet spot. And here, your red button is what you're gonna play to push to release his arm. So I'm gonna say, I kind of like it right about there. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of do this with holding this. Hold your knob while you shoot and use your other hand to press the button, because the coil underneath here is extremely strong and it'll move this a little bit. So I'm gonna hold down here, get my hand ready, and oh, gutter ball. But I know where I was, so I'm gonna go gonna tweak it over the other way a little bit. So here we go. Try it again. Right down the middle. We hit 9 pins, and 9 it is. And now we're in the second frame. Let's do it again. I think there was a sweet spot there. Oh, really good. All right, so let's see if we can pick up the spare. So what I'm gonna try to do is go over to the left a little bit and see if I can pick the spare up. Whoa, yes. All right, so we got our points, and over here, it's too bright to see, but it says 1 extra ball. So in that same second frame, it's gonna give me one more time to get some points. So it gave me that extra ball, and I got the points for that same ball, and now it puts me in the third frame. So here we go. Another one right down the middle. And if you ever have a question of which ones you're actually hitting here, what you're doing is you can see that it matches. It matches the deck to what you already hit down. Okay, here we go. All right, so we got one more of those. Ball comes back down. We're in our fourth frame, and let's see. Let's get a good view of it from down here. See if I can hold it. Ooh, only got 2 on that one. All right, now I know I need to go over a little bit. There we go. All right, 5th frame, last frame. Second to the last ball, and I'm gonna go right there, almost down the middle. Now let's see if we can pick this up and get some extra points. I'm gonna go over to the right a little bit. Too much. All right, well, there you have it. 5 frame, game's over, points 48. And game over, put another nickel in to play again. Well, if you have one of these machines for sale or you need one restored, please give us a call. We're located in Chicago, Illinois. Our phone number is area code 630-624-7466. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can see all the new machines coming to the warehouse. Thanks for watching.